Welcome back to Chef James MacInnis. Today we're going to do another reaction video, but first I wanted to mention, I don't know if you've noticed, it's looking like about every other week I'm posting a new video called Up to Par. This is going to be a short plug for it. Basically we are doing videos that will catch you up to par on a different culinary topic. So far we've done Anthony Bourdain, and we've also done Season 1 of The Bear. If you're interested, there'll be links for those up above. But back on to the reaction, which is why most of you are actually here. Today we're doing the best beef stew with baked beans in the forest, relaxing cooking with ASMR from the channel Men with the Pot. I've never seen this channel before. I don't know anything about this. No idea what's going to happen when I click play. So let's see what's going on. This is already looking rustic, survival-ish almost, back to basics, Renaissance. I don't know. We'll see. But, there's nothing wrong with going outside and cooking with a pot over fire. Okay, so first off, we see two nice-looking New York steaks. Their subtitle said sirloin, so either they don't really know, either they're just amateurs and, they put sirloin, whatever, they think it's sirloin, or they're not from North America. In Australia, they call strip loins I think they call them either sirloins or porterhouses down there. They have a completely different naming system down under. This looks more like a North American forest, not the outback, so I don't know. Hey, I hate to interrupt the video, but if you're getting any value out of this, could you please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment down below? I don't really know how hygienic that is to use. I mean, it's running water, and that's what you want to drink if you're out in the wild. You don't want to drink still water. I don't really know if splashing some running creek water on your cutting board is going to clean it any. That was some impressive knife trickery with the onion there. I'm kind of impressed. So the reason that bell peppers are traditionally left out of things like stocks and stews is because as they cook down, they add a cabbagey flavor to it. They don't add a pepper flavor. So if you're going to put peppers in there, I would give them a quick saute and then add them at the end. There's another language under the subtitles or the ingredients, so this could be a European forest. So that's right. That would be a good idea to do the meat first, pull it out. You have the fond in there, the flavor. That's going to help add flavor into the vegetables. I mean, when it comes to the steak, I don't find anything impressive about just dropping the knife and making those aggressive cuts. Also, to be honest, so he's making stew, and he chose the wrong cut of meat. The reason you don't want to use steak, well, I mean, you can use whatever you want, right? But the reason you wouldn't use a tender cut like that is because you're wasting money. There's a couple reasons. So, one, there's not enough collagen in there and enough fat inside a piece like that, even if it's got really high marbling, to really drop in a lot of flavor in the stew. If you're gonna use a steak, I'd rather use a ribeye. There's a lot more fat in a ribeye. Get much more richer flavor. But I wouldn't use a ribeye. You want to use a tough cut. Two reasons. One, when you braise or stew tough cuts, they get super tender and fall apart because there's a lot of fat in there, and it breaks down better. And it's money too. Like, you spent twice as much money on that steak as if you had bought stewing beef. The second thing is you should cut it up first as opposed to searing it off to well done like a steak, because the inside. So when you have that big steak, he's really got two sides, right? You got the top and the bottom because he didn't sear the edges. So if you cut it up first, now you've got all those edges you just don't have one top and bottom. You've got probably, so you cut it in the middle, you cut it a few times this way, 6, so 12, 14, 16, now little cubes. So you've got 16 tops and bottoms, but they're cubes now, so you're going to stir it up. So instead of 16 tops and bottoms, you have like 128 sides or something. And all those sides are going to get the Maillard reaction, the browning, the caramelization, the crust that everybody loves, that depth of flavor. Also, stews are thicker; they're not broth. So that's why you traditionally toss your beef or any stewing meat in flour first, so you can start developing your roux at the beginning. So, I mean, already they're making a lot of basic errors on making a really good stew. We can forgive some of these because they're doing it what looks like in the wild, but I mean, this could just be the backyard at somebody's country house. Like, who knows? If they, maybe they have a full house like 10 feet away. Maybe they are in the middle of nowhere. I don't really know. Somebody that follows this channel religiously might. Okay, so I think that was a Polish beer. So definitely, I could be wrong, just the quick lettering I think that was a Polish beer. So already, like, I'm thinking they're in, like, like Eastern Europe type now. He did not grind that with his hands. I mean, there's definitely some cool things in this video. Like, it is showing, some good camping techniques. More or less, I mean, the fire's in the wrong shape. You're supposed to use a log cabin fire, not a TP cabin, not a TP fire for cooking. But I mean, these are like lost skills that, people have been cooking like this for thousands of years before we got stoves. So this is pretty cool to see. Kind of reminds me of the witch, though, from Bugs Bunny. Bread looks really good. That is actually a very good skill. Like, he is showing a lot of talent and skill. I just think that, and the ingredients he's putting in there is personal preference. But I feel like if he saved the peppers for later and use a different cut of beef, it would elevate this to the next level. I did not know we were going to get a secret grilled cheese sandwich in the middle of this, and it just kind of reminds me. I didn't do it because I saw it before, but that Gordon Ramsay video that people reference every once in a while, where he completely shits the bed making a grilled cheese sandwich, and he's doing it in a pretty rustic location too. I mean, this man has rocks and wood fire and some cast iron pans, and he is cooking outside, and he's made a much better grilled cheese than Gordon did. That's for sure. Okay, so I don't think we're going to get any audio description from him on how he liked it. Everything looked good. His flavors looked fine, with the exception of the pepper, the bell peppers, and just because, when you cook them down too long, they end up releasing like a cabbage type taste. But other than that, though, his use of seasoning, herbs, everything else was spot on. Few small things. One, I mentioned the beef using that steak. I guess you could use it though if you didn't have, the hours, 2 or 3 hours to really cook down some chuck or something. But also, his cuts are not necessarily what you would want to do for stew. There's a reason that everything is done. Like, you want to do it uniform, so everything takes the same amount of time to cook. So he cuts his carrots into rounds, and then he slices his peppers and his onion. So you would ideally want to do everything in the same shape. And you're also thinking about what people use to eat. It's a stew, it's a spoon. So if you have these big, long, hangy bits of sliced peppers, they don't really fit in a spoon. So you'd want to probably cut those at least in half. That way, you want to make everything, spoon edible. Same thing, I think the chunks of beef are just a little too big, because you're either going to get a spoon of beef or a spoon of carrot. You're not going to get a combination spoon of anything. So overall, I think that this is a very good camping rustic stew. Would I serve this in a restaurant? With tweaks, modifications, yes, but I would probably take his basic recipe and wouldn't do much to it other than change the uniformity of the cuts of meat, of vegetables, swap out to an appropriate cut of beef, because I would have the time to stew it out properly. That grilled cheese he's eating with it looks absolutely wicked. I can't believe how much he just elevated the simpleness of making a ball of dough in the woods and turn it into what looks like an amazing grilled cheese sandwich. So overall, I'm going to give this a favorable review. That was a pretty good video, especially if you like that style where, he didn't talk really, because he wasn't talking to it, really made me watch harder. So I don't know if I think I like this. I might do them again sooner than later. Anyways, thanks for watching today. I've been Chef James. Don't forget to check out Up to Par. Trying to come out every other week with that. The next one is going to be on Marco Pierre White.